And I want to tell you guys a story about a crazy snake guy named Bob who sells electrical boxes. Admittedly sells electrical boxes. I'm not, that's his words. So Bob was in Irvine on the Wednesday, and he had set a goal for 2025, right, to pay off a large amount of debt.
Correct.
Pretty legitimate goal. It was a pretty good amount of debt. He's like, I want to just get this cleared this year. By the end of the year, I want to get it cleared. And in this Wednesday presentation, I said something like, I don't even remember what I said, something like, you didn't come all the way here, get on a plane, leave your families, sit in a boardroom for 3 days to set realistic goals. I said, you may as well set a goal that scares you. You may as well create a gap. And what he took that as was, instead of in a year, I'm gonna pay off this debt in 90 days. Big jump, scary jump. Guess what? He paid it off in 60. Can we get a round of applause for Bob? Which, according to ChatGPT, I don't know if the maths, is a 508% increase on his initial goal. So the question is, what is stopping you from thinking bigger with your goals? What is stopping you from thinking that 10x, or from shooting for that 10x, or trying to work 10 times less and make the same amount? What is actually stopping you? Because if it's logistical things, that's what we solve. We can help you hire, we can help you put better systems in place, we can help you automate, we can help you 80-20. But if it is a belief, that that's not for you, or that that's not possible, then I'm prepared to challenge that over the next 3 days. I'm prepared to push you and not allow that to be the thing that stops you. Because this was a big goal for Bob, and he took care of it like that. And the only change, in my opinion, was the fact that he was willing to think that it was possible. Instead of thinking, well, I'll just stay realistic. I'll just pay it off like little bit. Got rid of it, now it's gone. He doesn't have to worry about it anymore. So when you're thinking about your goals for the next 90 days, for the rest of Q2, even if you're already set Q2 goals, I want to give you an opportunity to rewrite them. And even if you weren't here in this room in January, to rewrite your one-year vision. Guess what, guys? You get to make the rules. You're the referee. You're playing the game, so you can change things whenever you want. So if you want to change your goal, if you want to go bigger, go bigger. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to rewrite your goal. And this could be 90-day goals, or this could be the rest of Q2. Don't worry about this yet. And I want you to rewrite it to something that creates a large gap in your mind of like, I'm not really sure how I'm going to get there. Because that cognitive dissonance forces your brain to solve different problems and to think differently. That's why I asked you 10xing your business, working 10x less. Right? Because you have to start thinking, well, what's that one thing that provides an outsized return for me? And then once we go bigger, once we amplify the goal, let's get more specific. I want to now amplify the goal and create a tighter boundary within which you can work. So we're going to go bigger on the goal, and we're going to go tighter on the parameters. So what are you not willing to sacrifice in order to get what you want? Staring at Eric Bach. What are you not willing to sacrifice in order to get what you want? I was posed a question when I was doing my 2025 vision planning that I shared with some of the folks last time. If you got all your money goals, hit all your money goals in 2025, but your partner handed you divorce papers at the end of the year, did you win? No. If you hit all your money goals in 2025, but when you looked in the mirror, you hated what you saw because you weren't able to train, did you win? No. And if the same thing happened and your kids didn't know who you were because you were never home, did you win? We have to set those parameters in place, because here's what happens. When we go really big, when we go uncomfortably big with our goals, our brain defaults back to our old patterns. For me, that's, well, if I gotta make that much money, I'll just work more. I'll just take more calls. I'll just be on Zoom more. And I'll just figure it out when I come downstairs after work. I'll just try and look like I'm engaged, but I'll be a zombie. So if I'm not careful, I'll just fall back into that default mode, because when my brain gets concerned, when my brain gets worried about trying to hit goals, it goes back to default. So we have to pick up, okay, what are those patterns that we would normally fall into, and let's make sure that there's a boundary set. That, okay, I want this big thing, and I'm not willing to sacrifice this. So what are some things you guys are not willing to sacrifice no matter what? Let's have some people shout things out.
My fun.
Your fun. Beautiful. Like shooting guns or?
Shooting guns, officiating baseball, officiating football.
Love it. So Galal's going to hit his goals and make sure he can still officiate football, still officiate baseball, still go to the gun range, all those things. Okay, that should be part of the goal. Someone else? Clara.
Traveling with my husband.
Yes. Yes, thank you. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. That is a non-negotiable. Yes, Robin.
My sleep.
Beautiful. Beautiful, yeah. It's something that a lot of us will be like, oh, I'll be fine, I just won't sleep. Like how many times have we, it'll be okay, until it's not okay. Right? So we make sure maybe you could set a clear parameter of the time you're going to go to bed, or we set a clear parameter of the amount of sleep you're going to get. I'm going to hit this goal and I'm going to get this much sleep. Okay, I'm going to hit this goal and I'm going to do 2-month-long trips with my husband. Right? And give myself recovery time and not beat myself up about it. Cool, so now we've amplified the goals, and now we've put boundaries in place, parameters in place that we're not willing to go outside of. This is one of the most important additions that I have made to my own 90-day planning, is making sure that there's that, and I'm not willing to do this. For me, I don't know if you guys know this, I've got a Zoom hour cap for the year, and I'm tracking it. Okay, I'm not willing to go over that many Zoom hours. So step 3 now is, who is the person that you need to become to allow this into your experience? So I want you to start thinking about the person who has everything that you want, who already has everything that you want, within the boundaries that you've set. What do their daily habits look like? What is their decision-making compass? When we think of decision-making compass and we look at like 5 and 6-figure, like lower level 6-figure earners, right? They're always thinking about bootstrapping and I'll do it myself, and how can I make sure that I save money here, right? That's not how a 7-figure business owner thinks. That's not how, as to steal Craig's words, an agent of change thinks. They think, how can I make sure I'm only doing the things I'm best at no matter what it costs? That's a different decision-making compass every time you're faced with something. And what do they think on a daily basis? What's their inner dialogue sound like? Why don't you start creating this next version of yourself who is going to have and experience all the things that you want to experience right now? Who wants to share a daily habit with that person?
Wake up at the same time 7 days a week.
Love it. You're such a kiss ass. Clara?
Exercise, outdoors.
Daily outdoor exercise. Love it. Anybody else? Yep. Allison?
Not scrolling. So locking my phone.
Yes. Samesies. MT?
Eating foods that fuel me, not
Yes. Yeah.
taste good.
Eating foods that fuel me, not foods that taste good. Is that what you said, Anne? Nice caveat. What about the decision-making compass? Did that shift anything for anybody? Does anyone have something to share there? The decision-making compass. How would you make decisions differently? Yeah, Ian.
Make them quicker instead of like sitting on them.
Love it. So make decisions quicker. What's that quote that if it's a reversible, just make the decision, because you're going to learn more by taking the action, right? Make decisions quicker. Anyone else with the decision-making compass shift?
Take on the right clients as opposed, so thinking abundantly versus scarcity. Thinking that you have to take on a client because what if?
Because they have a heartbeat and a credit card?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Been there.
You know who to turn down.
Yeah. You know who to say, you know what, no, I don't think we're the right fit. Yeah, Ann.
I think one of the things about decision making is once you make the decision, just you made the decision.
Owning it.
Don't think about it and like, did I make the right decision and oh, maybe I shouldn't and did I, you know what I mean? Just like I made it, now
Own
I'm
it.
done with it.
Yeah, I like that. Decisive.
This is also about the direction, so it's make the decision, but also know how you're going to choose whether or not it's the right one, because it's, you're going to make a lot of wrong ones, and the question is, how do you know when to cut it off?
Yes, I love that. What did Craig's friend call it? Capping your downside. Like, if it's one of those decisions that could be, a problem or could turn into something negative, well, okay, at what point am I going to cut this off? And what do I need to see by then, right? I say with a lot of my clients when they're hiring people and we're setting KPIs, what would make it a hell yes to keep this person after 60 days or 90 days? And if they don't hit that, cut it off. It's done. That's a really good point about decision-making compass is how will I know that it's working? And how will I not know? Because then I don't have to worry about it and think about it and overthink it. I can just own it and be like, okay, I've got the KPIs in place. I know what this needs to do. If it does it, great. If it doesn't, we move on.
Data over drama.
Data over drama.
Your words.
Actually, I think that was originally Xander's words, but he's not in here, so I'm going to own it. Yeah. Cool. So taking this to the next level, embodying the next version of you. So who embodies the traits and habits of the person you need to become? I talked in January when my wife was pregnant, I knew I was going to be a father. I was looking for other father figures, like other fathers who are a husband and father, present husband and father first, and also have incredibly successful businesses. One of the people that I mentioned was Dr. Tate. That's one area, but what I realized since then is you get to build your own Frankenstein. You get to pick and choose different things, right? So who has the business that you want? Who has the demeanor and decision-making compass that you want? Who has the physical body that you want? And can we start putting those pieces together and thinking about who do I want to embody and who do I want to watch closely? Who do I want to maybe sit beside and ask questions? So that I can start to step into this next level of me. Because the only difference there is that they're making their decisions a little differently than you do. Right? And we need to get inside their head and figure out how they're making those decisions so that we can start to step into that. So that we can start to step into that reality. Right? One of the first talks I ever did, one of the things that came up was this idea of acting as if. And of trying on the jacket, as I like to say. Try on the jacket of that person who already has what you want and see how it fits. Start acting as if you are already there and watch what comes into fruition for you. Okay? So this could be people that you admire and watch online. This could be people in your life. It could be coaches, coaching clients, mentors, could be friends who have what you want. Yeah. Ken.
Yeah, I think the example's interesting because I learned from my mom very, very early. So she did this Mary Kay Cosmetics thing.
Yes.
Do you remember back? Are they still around? They might still be.
Oh yeah.
I've seen some pink cars.
Yeah, it's the pink car, right? The pink Cadillac. Yeah.
And I think that something's getting lost in translation over the last couple decades, which tells you how old I am. And that is, they used to say dress, like they embodied it within the thing, and they were like, well, dress for the position you want to be in. So even if they were doing like home parties showing people, Mary Kay products, they were dressing as if they were a regional director.
Love it.
And so I think there's there's a way to take it beyond. I think sometimes when you're figuratively try the jacket on, it's super easy to go, yeah. Because we've kind of lost in this remote world, I think to some extent, some of the literal aspects of what it really, really means to actually try to step into those new behaviors and those new mindsets.
Yeah. Actually, when I was first running my business, I see you there.
It's really loud back here with the AC. Could you
Oh.
sort of summarize that?
Yeah.
It was
Essentially.
great. I was fantastic.
I already knew you
Ken is incredibly smart.
Want to hear.
Ken just talked about the literal aspects of trying on the jacket. And Mary Kay Cosmetics used to have this like dress for the part you want, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I remember actually when I was first starting my like business coaching business in 2019, one of my coaches said to me like, how are you showing up, like physically showing up to the calls? And I know Joe always talks about standing on calls. And so one of the things I did was I stood and I would put on a dress shirt and a tie for my calls. And it changed my whole demeanor when I stepped onto the call. It was like, we're doing this thing, right? Pretty sure it improved my closing percentage. We'll see. I don't know. So who embodies those traits and habits? And then this comes from friend of ours, friend of the company named Rusty Osborne. He likes to talk about your board of directors. So if you had the opportunity to sit around the campfire and ask about all of your life problems and all the things you want to solve, ask anybody, who are the 5 people that you'd pick to sit around that campfire with you? And one of the things that Rusty will have us do is close our eyes and visualize those people sitting around the campfire and ask them some questions. Like when you're trying to solve problems, ask those people questions. So again, these could be people that you follow on social media. These could be people that are friends, family. You know, these could be former family members who have passed on, who you wish that you could ask. This could be future versions of yourself. I often use the old wise frame of reference. Ask the 85-year-old version of you. So let's have you guys pick 5 people for your board of directors that you can go to for advice. Would probably be pretty similar to the people you want to embody. My time. We'll wrap this up in 5. Okay, just for the sake of time, we're going to keep rolling. So now, if you were there in January and you remember my presentation, we talked about the importance of connecting the future to the present, right? We set goals, we set 90-day goals, we set year-long visions, and it can be really easy to kind of keep that carrot on the stick. It's kind of like always in the future. But the way we can connect the future to the present is through what it is that we want to feel, or what it is that we think that goal will make us feel. So if I want to make $1 million, what do I think that that's going to make me feel? Because that's the thing I'm actually chasing, just so you guys know. We're not chasing the money, we're not chasing the goal, we're chasing the way we think it's going to make us feel. And the best part about it is you can feel that right now. So what do you think it's going to feel like when you have it? When you already embody that person? When you've already hit that goal? It's going to feel like freedom, peace, passion, empowerment, confidence, whatever it is. That's how we connect the future to the present. Because you may not be able to see the $1 million in your bank account right now, but you can feel the feeling of having $1 million in your bank account. And what does that feel like when you think about that? What does that feel like in your body? We have to teach your body emotionally. When you picture the scene of you having accomplished your big goal, what does it feel like physically for you? And we're going to do a visualization on Friday that's going to bring all of these things together. But I want you to start thinking about what those feelings are. Maybe it's like a lightness in your chest, or maybe it's like a power coming from deep within you, or it's like this, I want to scream with happiness and joy. Like, what is that feeling for you physically? Again, the more that we can feel it physically and teach our body emotionally, the law of attraction states that you attract more of what you think and feel. and you get to think and feel, you can think and feel, you can access those feelings already, right now. Now that we have all this in place, I just want you guys to think about the next 30 days. What specific outcome needs to happen to bring all this together? And this may be one to ask your board of directors. What decision are you not making in your business that needs to be made? I'm going to touch more on this tomorrow. But I guarantee there is one decision that all of you need to make in your business that if you made it, it would have an outsized return for you. But it's probably a hard decision, and it might involve a difficult conversation. And Daniel and Craig are going to help you with that later. So what needs to happen in the next 30 days, and what decision needs to be made to give you the best chance to reach your Q2 90-day goals, especially the big goals that we've set. Now, I realize that me standing up here telling you, you should just think bigger, can be very overwhelming. So I want you to just make a list, just because we don't have too much time, just even 3 things, 3 people, 3 things, 3 resources that you have that you might forget about when you get overwhelmed. Because it's easy when we get overwhelmed to focus on the outcome, to worry about the outcome, worry about maybe not getting the thing. But I want you to think about the resources you already have, even just right in this room. The people that are here, the knowledge that they have, the automations, the technology. Where can you get resourceful to make this path easier? I guarantee it's sitting right under your nose. And you just haven't thought about it yet because you're so worried about trying to hit this big goal that's scary. Okay, I'll leave you guys with this. The people who plan with the most precision in the world plan that way because their life depends on it. The Navy SEALs, right? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And now a lot of us, we have on our shirts last time, success loves speed and all these things. What I want you to think about over the next 3 days is that this is your time to slow down and take the time to get precise on your planning. You should be leaving here with a specific, precise plan for your next 30, 60, 90 days to take you into Q3. Okay, this is your time to be like the Navy SEALs and plan, prepare. Because when you leave, when you go back, many of you know that, life's going to hit you in the face, because it always does when you go back home, kids and family and all those things. But that's going to be your time to relentlessly execute. Now is the time to get precise on planning so that you know every step of the way that's going to give you the best chance at success.